The streets of Cameroon are on fire. Tension, anger, and grief are spreading across the nation like wildfire. In Douala, Yaoundé, Bamenda, and Buea, people have poured into the streets, risking their lives to demand one thing: freedom. After yet another controversial election declared Paul Biya the winner, the people say enough is enough. Tear gas clouds fill the air. Gunshots echo through narrow streets. The cries of protesters mix with the sound of sirens, and as night falls, the truth becomes impossible to ignore. At least 4 people have been killed in the chaos. For decades, Cameroonians have lived under one man, Paul Biya, the world's oldest president, in power since 1982. He has ruled for 43 long years, outlasting coups, crises, and protests, but now the people have had enough. They say this election was stolen. They say their voices were silenced. They say this is not democracy, it's dictatorship. From market women to university students, from taxi drivers to teachers, every voice is rising. They're striking, marching, and shouting the same words: "We will not be slaves in our own country." What began as peaceful demonstrations has turned deadly. Police opened fire on protesters, and eyewitnesses say at least 4 civilians have been shot dead. Hundreds more have been injured or arrested, their only crime demanding a fair election. Videos circulating online show young men lying motionless on the streets, flags in their hands, as soldiers marched past them. Mothers are crying, fathers are shouting, and the whole nation is holding its breath. Cameroon's government insists the election was fair, but opposition candidate Isa Chiroma Bakari calls it a complete fraud. He says ballot boxes were stuffed, polling centers were surrounded by armed men, and opposition supporters were intimidated into silence. He has accused Biya's administration of manipulating the results long before votes were counted. But instead of investigating these claims, the government has turned its fury on the protesters. The Territorial Administration Minister has accused Bakari of inciting violent post-election demonstrations. State TV has gone silent on the killings, pretending everything is normal, while the streets are filled with blood. Cameroon has reached a boiling point. Workers are on strike, transportation has stopped, schools have shut down, markets are closed. It feels like the country has come to a standstill because the people are saying no more. In Douala, the nation's commercial heart, young people have blocked major roads with burning tires. In Yaoundé, protesters are chanting, "Biya must go," as soldiers line the streets. In Bamenda and Buea, anger runs even deeper, especially in the Anglophone regions, where years of conflict and neglect have left wounds that never healed. For the Anglophone people, this protest isn't just about elections, it's about survival. They've lived through violence, displacement, and military crackdowns for years, and now they're joining hands with citizens across the country to say, "We have suffered long enough." The spark was the election, but the fire is fueled by decades of pain. Poverty, unemployment, corruption, and repression have left millions hopeless. And for many, this uprising is not just political, it's personal. One woman in Douala, her voice trembling, told local reporters, "My son was only 22. He was protesting with a flag in his hand. They shot him." She paused, tears streaming down her face, and added, "How can we call this democracy when they kill our children for speaking?" Her story is not alone. Reports say 4 people have been confirmed dead, and dozens more are missing. Activists believe the real number may be even higher, as families fear reporting deaths under military pressure. This is the price of protest in Cameroon, and the world is watching. International organizations, including Human Rights Watch and Amnesty International, have condemned the government's response. But condemnation is not enough. The people say they need action and justice. In the age of social media, the truth can't be buried. Videos and photos are spreading across platforms, showing soldiers dragging protesters, police firing into crowds, and citizens screaming for help. Even as internet access is restricted in some regions, Cameroonians are finding ways to share their story with the world. Across Africa, leaders are watching nervously, because what's happening in Cameroon feels like part of a larger wave, a movement rising across the continent against leaders who refuse to let go of power. From Sudan to Burkina Faso, from Mali to Niger, young people are standing up and saying, "We want our countries back." And now Cameroon has joined that chorus. Paul Biya has been called the ghost president. He spends much of his time abroad, far from the struggles of ordinary citizens, while his nation battles inflation, unemployment, and insecurity. For years he has ruled through fear, silencing critics and imprisoning dissenters. But this time, fear is breaking. The silence is cracking. Every protester knows the risk, yet they march anyway. Every mother knows she might lose her son, yet she prays for his courage. Every young person knows they could be arrested, yet they shout louder, because the hope of a free Cameroon burns brighter than the fear of bullets. This moment feels different. It feels like a nation awakening after 40 years of sleep. It feels like the beginning of something powerful, something unstoppable. The African Union has called for calm. The United Nations has urged dialogue. But inside Cameroon, people say dialogue has become a word used to delay justice. They say they've talked for decades. Now they're taking action. For many, this uprising is not about hate. It's about dignity. It's about wanting to live in a country where your voice matters, where elections are real, and where leadership changes with the people's will. It's about refusing to accept that one man can decide the fate of 27 million people. In Yaoundé, a protester's final words before being arrested were captured on camera. "We are dying for our future. If we stay silent, we'll die anyway." Those words have become the anthem of this moment, a cry that refuses to be ignored. The world may try to move on, but Cameroon won't forget. Those 4 people killed, their names will become symbols. Their deaths are not numbers, they are reminders of what it costs to demand freedom in a land ruled by fear. And yet, amid the chaos, there's hope. Because every time the government tries to silence the people, more voices rise. Every time they close one street, another crowd gathers. Every time a leader says order will return, the people respond, freedom will return first. Cameroon stands at a dangerous crossroads. The next few weeks could decide whether this nation falls deeper into repression or begins its long walk towards democracy. But one thing is certain: the spirit of the people cannot be crushed. Even now, as soldiers patrol the streets, people are lighting candles in memory of those killed. They are kneeling in prayer, singing songs of unity, and vowing that their sacrifice will not be in vain. In the words of one protester, "They killed 4 of us today, but they cannot kill 27 million tomorrow." And that's the truth. You can silence a few, but you can't silence a nation forever. Cameroon's story is still being written, and this chapter, filled with courage, loss, and resistance, may be the one that finally changes everything. As dawn rises over the smoke-filled streets, the chants grow louder. Freedom for Cameroon. Justice for the fallen. Biya must go. Whether it happens tomorrow or years from now, one thing is clear. The people have awakened. And once a nation awakens, no amount of power can put it back to sleep. As the smoke clears and the sirens fade, Cameroon stands on the edge of history. The protests may quiet down for a moment, but the spirit that has been awakened will not die. Those 4 people killed in the streets of Douala and Yaoundé, their names will echo through time as the spark of a movement that refused to bow to fear. For decades, the people were told to stay silent. They were told that change was impossible. But now they have shown the world that courage still lives in the heart of Cameroon. Every chant, every tear, every step taken in defiance is a message that no ruler, no matter how powerful, can own a nation forever. The future of Cameroon will not be written in the halls of power, but in the hearts of its people. This fight is no longer about politics, it's about dignity, justice, and freedom. The question now is not whether change will come, but when. And when it does, the world will remember this moment, the night the people of Cameroon stood up, faced bullets with courage, and declared together, "We are free."